This is the tragic story of a newlywed couple, Michael Carter and Jessica Roberts, whose love story ended in violence after a shocking discovery. Michael and Jessica seemed like a happy couple, but behind the scenes, there was a secret that would lead to a brutal murder. This true crime documentary will explore how a loving relationship turned deadly when Michael discovered that Jessica was a transgender woman. Michael Carter, a 27-year-old man from a small town, met Jessica Roberts, a beautiful 25-year-old woman, at a local event. They were instantly attracted to each other and began dating shortly after. Michael, who worked as a construction worker, was known to be hardworking and down to earth. Jessica worked at a nearby beauty salon, and her kindness and charm drew many people to her. Their relationship seemed perfect. They quickly fell in love and got married within a year of meeting. Friends and family described them as happy and in love. On the surface, it appeared that Michael and Jessica had everything a newlywed couple could want. But unknown to Michael, Jessica had a secret. Before transitioning, Jessica had been born as Joshua Roberts. She had undergone hormone therapy and surgeries to transition to living as a woman. Jessica never told Michael about her past, fearing that it would ruin their relationship and that he wouldn't accept her. For months, their marriage appeared to be going well. They had moved into a cozy home and started planning their future together. However, Michael began to notice small things about Jessica that made him curious. He found old photos of her that didn't match the woman he had married, and noticed some medical documents that hinted at a different past. The final revelation came when Michael found an old identification card that listed Jessica's birth name, Joshua Roberts. Realizing that his wife was a transgender woman, Michael felt shocked, confused, and betrayed. According to those close to him, Michael had never expressed any views about transgender people before this, but he was a very traditional man. He had strong beliefs about gender roles and marriage, and the discovery of Jessica's past clashed with those values. After discovering Jessica's secret, Michael confronted her. What began as a tense conversation quickly escalated into a heated argument. Michael demanded answers, accusing Jessica of lying to him. Jessica tried to explain, telling Michael that she loved him and didn't want to lose him. She expressed her fear that he wouldn't accept her for who she was if he had known the truth from the start. But Michael wasn't ready to listen. He felt humiliated and deceived. In his mind, the woman he had fallen in love with no longer existed. The argument spiraled out of control, with Michael becoming increasingly angry and violent. In a fit of rage, Michael grabbed a kitchen knife and attacked Jessica. The violence was brutal and swift, and Jessica didn't stand a chance. By the time it was over, Jessica was dead, lying in a pool of blood in their home. Michael didn't try to hide what he had done. Shortly after the murder, he called 911 and confessed to the killing. When the police arrived, they found Michael sitting next to Jessica's body, covered in blood and still in shock. He was immediately arrested and taken into custody. The news of Jessica's murder sent shockwaves through the community. Many people who knew the couple couldn't believe that such a horrific event had taken place. Jessica was remembered as a kind and caring woman, while Michael's sudden violence seemed out of character for the man they thought they knew. As the story unfolded in the media, it became clear that Jessica's transgender identity had been the tipping point for Michael's violent outburst. The case sparked debates about acceptance, prejudice and the struggles faced by transgender individuals, particularly when it comes to disclosure in romantic relationships. During the trial, Michael's defense team argued that he had acted in a moment of passion after learning about Jessica's transgender identity. They claimed that he felt deceived and that the emotional shock caused him to lose control. This defense, often called the trans panic defense, has been used in other cases when a person claims that learning about someone's transgender identity triggered violent behavior. The prosecution, however, argued that there was no excuse for murder. They pointed out that Jessica had never harmed Michael and that she deserved to live her life without fear of violence. The case was seen as an example of the dangers that transgender people face when they are not accepted for who they are. After a highly emotional trial, Michael was found guilty of second-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for at least 25 years. The verdict brought some relief to Jessica's friends and family, who mourned her tragic death and hoped that justice had been served. The murder of Jessica Roberts is a heartbreaking reminder of the challenges faced by transgender individuals in society. For many transgender people, the fear of rejection, violence, and discrimination is an everyday reality. Jessica's decision not to disclose her transgender identity to Michael is a deeply personal choice that many transgender people face when navigating relationships. This case also highlights the dangerous consequences of societal prejudice and rigid gender expectations. Michael's violent reaction was driven by feelings of betrayal and wounded pride, rooted in his inability to accept Jessica for who she truly was. In the end, this tragedy is about more than just one relationship going wrong. It's about the larger issues of acceptance, identity, and the need for understanding. Jessica Roberts' life was cut short by the man she loved, a victim of both his rage and society's broader intolerance. Her murder serves as a stark reminder of the dangers transgender individuals face when they are not accepted or understood. The tragic story of Michael and Jessica is a cautionary tale about the deadly consequences that can result when love, identity, and prejudice collide. It's a case that will continue to raise important questions about how we treat those who are different from us and how we can create a more inclusive and accepting world.